Julie Christie, London, 1968. Actress Diahann Carroll holding court in her living room, discussing the plight of blacks in the television industry, 1979. Françoise Hardy in London with her black Hermes Kelly, 1968. Marianne Faithfull in 1965. A young man gets ready to swing a bat in a gritty Brooklyn alley, captured in a candid 1992 street moment. Venice, California, 1992. Last garbage barge heading to Freshkills landfill, symbolizing the end of an era for New York City's primary waste disposal site, 1993. Police arrest a man protesting the Rodney King verdict on 7th Avenue in Manhattan. Jane Asher in London, 1964. Fashion icon Grace Kelly in 1955. Vintage laundromat sign on Avenue D in New York City, 1990. Industrial scene in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, 1990. Eddie Edwards ski jump near the foot of the World Trade Center, 1996. Donald Trump walks past a beggar on Fifth Avenue following a press conference on November 16, 1990. Two children from the Covenant House Homeless Shelter listen to speeches during the 4th annual nationwide candlelight vigil for homeless kids in Times Square on December 6, 1994. Auto Service Center on the corner of Lafayette and Prince Street, as it was being used by French street artist W.K. to do a piece on model Alec Weck. A boy purchasing candy floss from a food stand operated by Italian Americans on a street in Little Italy, New York, 1950. International Food Festival, New York, May 14, 1988. Vintage boombox, probably from the 1980s or 1990s in East Asia, representing the street music culture. Two ladies walk past a row of horse-drawn carriages, then the equivalent of taxicabs, close to Madison Square in 1899. A woman looks at the Statue of Liberty from a ferry's deck in the 1900s. A dressed-up flapper displays a poster promoting the Greenwich Village Halloween Ball 1922. A view of New York City's East Side in the mid-1920s. A broke investor attempts to sell his high-end roadster for $100 after the 1929 stock market crash. A group of people look out from the outdoor viewing platform of the Empire State Building over New York, 1940. A woman giggles while tossing ticker tape from a balcony on Victory in Europe Day, May 8, 1945. A woman is reading a book beside the fountain in Washington Square Park in 1940. Crowds gather in front of the original Nathan's Famous hot dog stand on Coney Island, 1955. On November 14, 1930, waiters provide lunch to two steel workers sitting on a girder high above the city while the renowned Waldorf Astoria Hotel is being constructed. The Manhattan Bridge during construction in 1882. In 1978, when the subway system was shut down due to a significant power failure, New Yorkers jammed the Brooklyn Bridge. At 72nd Street and Broadway, a fire engine pulled by a horse sprints toward the direction of a fire in 1910. In 1974, French aerialist Philippe Petit traverses a tightrope that is strung between the World Trade Center Twin Towers. The scene in Brooklyn's Park Slope neighborhood following the crash of two airplanes. On December 16, 1960, the planes had crashed over a foggy New York harbor. People from New York stand outside a huge mailbox stamp booth in Times Square in 1961. On VJ Day, people sit on the curb with ticker tape, confetti, and paper after War II, August 14, 1945. An enthusiastic teacher explains surfing physics from his desk, California, 1970. A priest holds a dying soldier whilst bullets are fired around them. Venezuela, 1962. Katherine Johnson, American mathematician whose work was fundamental at NASA. A Zeppelin flying high above the city of Berlin in the year 1915. In the year 1930, a dedicated police officer and his loyal canine dog could be seen riding together on a motorcycle. The not yet assembled face of the Statue of Liberty remains unpacked in New York shortly following its arrival from France on June 17, 1885. A labourer takes a break while constructing the Chrysler Building in New York City, 1930. Katharina Bumbach, 1884 to 1952, widely recognised by her stage name Katie Sandwina, displayed remarkable strength by lifting 3 women overhead using both hands. In an impressive feat of strength, she also managed to lift a staggering 300 pounds above her head with just one hand. Saura M. Zwei, Octopus, a prototype, stage 10x6 off-road vehicle built by Saura, a Swiss truck manufacturer, in 1940. Alcairo Mary, a bouncer at Shanghai Reds, 5th and Beacon in San Pedro, escorts a customer to the door, 1953. Ella Williams, also known by her stage name Madame Abamar, was an American performer. She was a woman of extraordinary height and strength who became an international celebrity in the late 1800s. Soldiers of the 6th Waffen, SS Nord, Mountain Infantry Division, bandaging a wounded dog's paw. Samuel Reshevsky, age 8, defeating several chess masters at once in France, 1920. A nun, ensuring her young charges stay cool, Madonna House Day, Nursery, New York City, summer, 1941. Anatoly Golimbievsky, a heavily decorated Soviet veteran who lost both legs in the Second World War, acknowledges the salute of 4 young sailors from the Nakhimov Navy School on V-Day in Leningrad in 1989. Orgone, accumulator, a device sold in the 1950s to allow a person sitting inside to attract orgone, a massless healing energy. A game of unicycle basketball in Harlem, c. 1960. Together, an armless man, Charles Tripp, and a legless man, Eli Bowen, can ride a tandem. 1890. A milkman makes his way through the rubble, following a German bombing raid in London, 1940. Alfred Hitchcock serving tea to Leo the Lion, mascot of MGM, 1958. In London, the double-decker buses underwent a tilt test to prove they would not tip over, January 1946. A zookeeper hydrating emperor penguins to keep them cool. On a warm summer day, 1957. A boy selling lemonade with a portable lemonade dispenser, Berlin, 1931. A navigation helpline in the Netherlands, 1963, a long time ago, before Google Maps. World's largest log cabin, Portland, Oregon, USA, 1938. Built in 1905, burned down in 1964. A streetcar lies motionless just after having jumped the tracks and crashed into a store at the intersection of Nostrand and Putnam Avenues, July 1931. A soldier saying a final goodbye to his son, Warren, New Westminster, 1940. The four-penny coffin. For 4p you could sleep in a coffin in a warehouse, 1890s. A 8 feet 11 inches man, Robert Pershing Wadlow, also known as the Alton Giant and the Giant of Illinois, February 22, 1918, July 15, 1940. Surgery. Using ether anesthetic. One of the first procedures using ether on Rheocord, 1855. Trapeze artist Miss Mara, hitting the forearms, 1958. Zeppelin airship before dirigibles had pilot cabins, England, 1917. A medical college lecture at Rush Medical College Auditorium, Chicago, 1900. Raising a truss 160 feet above water, Delaware Memorial Bridge, 1951. Night Soil Man, from Dunstan, Lincolnshire. He took away human waste to be used as fertilizer, 1872. Aloha Wanderwell, the first woman to drive around the world, 1925. Great Errol, fly-in, swashbuckling on his yacht, Sirocco, California, 1941. Knife thrower, Signor Arcaris and assistant Miss Rose Arcaris, 1900. English sailor, Walter Yeo, one of the first skin flap plastic surgery recipients, 1917. L-49, German crashed Zeppelin captures went down like a lead Zeppelin, Bourbon-les-Bains, 1917. Rudolph Valentino, A Sainted Devil, 1924. Anne Frank with her sister at the beach Zandvoort, 1940. Spencer Tracy, Judy Holliday, and Katharine Hepburn, Adam's Rib, 1949. Audrey Hepburn and William Holden in New York while shooting Sabrina, 1954. Tunnel rat during the Vietnam War, 1966. Carlos Pujol Garcia, self-taught double agent, Spy honoured with both a British MBE and German Iron Cross, 1943. Sydney Harbour Bridge, 1930. Rescued slaves crowd, the deck of the HMS Daphne, 1868. The Lykov family, how they survived. 42 years alone in the Siberian wilderness, 1978. Early 1900s, swimwear styles before modern swimsuits. Workers leaving the Manhattan Project's Y12 plant at shift changing time, 1945. Hair salon from the 1950s. Rural American Life in the first half of the 20th century by Mike Disfarmer, whose life was a mystery and whose work was only discovered posthumously. The Ladies' Committee of the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts held its annual meeting on May 30th, 1951. Rescuing a horse that fell in the canal. Amsterdam, 1929. Louise Cox, Vilma Strange, and Marilyn Angel from Oak Ridge at the swimming pool in 1946. Berlin Telephone Exchange, Germany, published in 1898. Betty Grable, 1943. People with packages lined up at the customer service windows of the Madison Post Office, 215 Monona Avenue, at Christmas. A female worker setting up the bus route, 1944. VJ Day celebration, Way Oak Ridge, 1945. Electromagnetic separators, 1967. Young Dutch mother with her baby in a wooden pram, 1929. Radiation therapy session at Oak Ridge, showcasing early atomic era cancer treatment technology, 1950.